this cake, we are going to use make puffs around the top border. That's what the rings are going to sit in. You can use a 199. This is a 199 tip. It's got a lot of teeth. Or you can use a 172 tip. Okay. Notice I don't fill my bag very full. You never want to fill it more than half full, because for one, your icing's going to break down and you can't rebeat that. You got to get rid of it. And number two, your hand gets really tired. There's a lot of piping that goes on with Lambeth style, all that over piping, and your hand's going to get tired if your bag is overfilled. What you're going to want to do is you want to start straight up and down, and you want to make a nice ball shape. Whoops. Okay, I didn't do that very well. That didn't come out real well. It's a shell, and you want to be careful that you don't twist your hand when you do it. When you make this, you don't want to twist your hand like this, because then it ends up looking too zigzaggy. You want to make sure it's a solid shell. So let's try it again. I'm used to the smaller tips, so let's see if we can do it with the bigger one. There we go. And then as you get towards the end, you want it nice and rounded. You can kind of tilt it, the tip to the side. And you want it nice and rounded. So my first shell always moves a little bit. Nice and round. Make sure the tip gets buried a little. Okay. And I actually want these to just touch, but this is where I want to stop piping. So this is where I'm going to start. It fills up like that. You actually want them to just touch. You also want to make sure that they are about an inch big. Here to the back is about an inch. Joseph Lambeth used many kinds of decorations for his cake. He usually used royal icing flowers because they were commercial and the quickest. However, he was known to make gum paste flowers and decorations because he could store them and then just put them on the cake. So what I'm going to do is kind of a fantasy lotus blossom that he had used on one of his cakes. A little different, but kind of the same. And I'm just going to roll out some gum paste here. And you don't want it too thin because you don't want it too fragile. This isn't a real flower. And you're going to take any kind of a petal you've got. This just happens to be a stargazer lily, a small one. A stargazer lily, or any kind of a lily cutter. It could be a leaf cutter, anything. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And this has a base to it, which we really don't need, so I'm actually just going to cut that off. You don't need this little piece right here, so I'm just going to cut it off. Don't need it. Okay, and then I've got this veiner here. You don't have to have it. You can just go ahead and use a toothpick and draw veins in it, or you can leave it plain if you like it that way, but I'm just going to go ahead and vein it just with a piece of foam. See, so you can see the veins. Let me flip it over. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it in a flower former because I want a curve to it. This is a large flower former, and as you can see, he's drying there with all his little buddies. And I need about 17, 18 of these to make my lotus blossom. I'm going to go ahead and start the center of my lotus blossom while my flowers are drying. I want to put a baby on a pillow inside there. And so what I have is a mold. This is a push mold that I got from Michael's. And it's just, they normally use them for clay, for the Fimo clay that's in that section with the clay. But I need a baby's face. And so I think this says miniature dolls. That's what the mold is. But it's actually got a baby's face in here. And so I've got a little bit of flesh colored gum paste that I'm going to go ahead and press into this. My paste is a little soft. Go ahead and freeze it. If you freeze your paste, it'll come out nice and easy. So I'm going to just pop this in the freezer. Okay, at this point I know that this cutter, which is about, I think it's about a 2-inch cutter. Actually, I can tell you right now how big it is. This is a 2.5-inch cutter, circle cutter. And I'm going to use it as the center of my lotus blossom. This is where my baby's going to sit. And so I want my baby to have its head on a pillow.